I just wanted to take one moment.
There is another one over there.
Oh, there's two of us. There's two of us. Where's my fellow American?
There is actually one more, so three.
Oh, there's three. There's three. Hey, there's more. Okay, awesome. Four. They keep coming everywhere. I'm sorry. I know you guys are tired. I'm exhausted as well. But my name's Jordan. I was invited by my brother Wasili here to this church. I've been here before. I've seen so many of you guys at the church in Columbus, the church here in Cleveland, also the church in Lexington. And I, as an American, I wanted to speak for just a second and to honor, first of all, your leadership, because there were so many of those questions that I felt like I wanted to respond to, because I see you guys flirting with this line. I see you guys flirting with this line of seeing the way that Americans live and see the way that, and I'm going to get emotional because it's serious. And I see you guys on this line, and let me challenge you that you've got to be really careful. Because you're looking at the American church and you're seeing one thing, but you're not understanding what's underneath that. You're not understanding the sickness that's in the American church. And listen, let me be clear that I've worked in the American church for 10 years. I love the American church. I mean, I honestly feel like to this day, I've given my life to it. So I'm burdened for the American church. But the American church doesn't have what the Slavic church has. And that's an honest passion for prayer, an honest passion for an intimacy with Christ. And let me take that a step further and go back to all of these questions that have been asked in this Q&A about same-sex marriage, about guns in church. I mean, honestly, things that are, don't hear me wrong. It matters. These things matter in our world, but they don't matter in our faith. It's irrelevant when it comes to your relationship with Christ. Do guns in church matter to your relationship with Christ? But here's the other side of that is depression and same-sex marriage and anxiety. If you are pursuing a passionate and intimate relationship with Christ, you're not dealing with any of those things. And so let me come back to what I have seen the most out of this church, the Slavic church, and to re-challenge you that some of your parents and your grandparents and your great-grandparents, if you knew what they went through. Like, I know you know the stories. I know you've heard the stories. I've heard the stories. But there's one thing about hearing the stories, and there's another thing about being that story, being in that moment, being in those countries whenever persecution is coming at you harder than anything you guys have ever experienced. They fought for you to be able to be in this room and to go after your God with all that you have. And when you do that, you are going to experience the fullness of joy that is promised in His Word. But you will not experience that fullness of joy that is promised in His Word until we lay all of these things to the side and get on our knees and get on our faces and cry out to God and say, God, nothing of mine matters. My selfish pursuits do not matter. This world does not matter. Who I marry does not matter. What matters is that I am connected to you, and everything flows out of that. So let me end with this and say this. You guys are light years ahead of the Christian church, or the American Christian church, if you will just cling to what your fathers, your mothers, and your forefathers, is the way that I would say it, those that have gone before you, if you would get back to what they started. They didn't come here so that you would become the American church. They came here so that you would have a relationship with Christ. And so please, my brothers and sisters, cling to what you've been taught. Cling to the passion that was bred within you from a young age. Hold on to that. You guys have more power to change the American church than you realize. So don't become more like them. Become more like Him. And then they will too. It's been an honor to be with you guys, and I hope you have a great night.
Thank you.